Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I got a treat for you. We have a vintage remodel. I don't know if you guys remember the EV Global Lee Iacocca e-bikes. This bike comes all the way from 1999. So it's officially 25 years old. And today we're gonna do a facelift. We're gonna put a little lipstick on this pig. If you remember the old bikes, they had a Heinzman motor. So this is the low end model, the red one. It was 24 volt. Then they had an LE model, which was usually maroon or blue. That one was 36 volt. And then they had the black one, which had the nice front end and a few extra added components. That was the high end model. I think it was the SG or something like that. But we just picked this thing up on Facebook Marketplace. I paid a little more than I wanted to, but I haven't had one of these bikes in over 10 years, so I thought it would be a great time to have a little facelift project. So we're gonna change out pretty much everything on the bike. We're gonna redo all of the electronics. We're gonna change out the entire front end. We're gonna change out the motor. We're gonna change out the wheels and tires. We're gonna change out the handlebars, the seat posts, the seat, everything. The pedals. When you see this bike again, it is going to be updated with all new technology and ready to ride the trails. Actually has the stock battery in it. That's what they said. It's got the original stock headlight and tail light. Let's take a look and see if it's in here. Yep, there's the battery. It's got the stock battery in it. Oh, these clips are have seen better days. It's a little scratched up. The pedals are completely trashed. This chain ring in the front has always been so small. It's always been a problem on these bikes because once you up them to about 72 volts, or say if you put 52 volts to them, you need a larger chain ring so you can pedal with the bike and actually assist it with your legs. So this is a problem because you can never get a big enough chain ring in here because they didn't really design it for that. These 24 volt bikes, I think, topped out at 15 miles per hour. But this thing's in rough condition. So like the wiring going to the back brake light is almost trash. It falls apart in your hands. The seat is rusty. Both tires are still in good condition, even though they're flat. They probably just need air. The front fork on these things is never the best. I'll be changing that out because it's threaded. We'll go to 1.1/8 threadless. And most of the components on the stock electronics will have to go as well. But here she is in all her glory. This is the before picture. And let's hope it looks better afterwards. I don't see how I can make it any worse. All right, so I successfully demolished the bike and I have nothing but the frame only. Now I just need to clean it up a little bit and get ready to add all the new components. So I have the body panel over here. I have the front forks. I have the motor and front wheel right here. And then I have all of the bicycle accessories, the original battery pack, and then I have all of the stock wiring right here. All right, I really wanted to document more of this build, but it just happens to be pouring out all weekend. And I just don't want to do this outside, so I'm crammed in my little shed. I got the Kuberg Freerider, the Zero FX, the Talaria Sting RMX4, and I got my Death Veloci, and then I got the DB17 LR small block, and now we got the EVG e-bike. So I got the rear hub motor on, I got the front forks on and the front wheel on. We got a RockShox Sector 1.1/8 threadless fork. And we got nice Avid brakes. And I noticed that now the kickstand is about 6 inches from mounting on the ground here. The bike will not stay upright with the kickstand. So the kickstand's gonna need to get extended because these wheels are huge. This back one barely clears, but it makes it. I think these are 2.5-inch tires. I don't know. Can't find the size anywhere. 2.4. All right, I was about to mount my cycle analyst and I had all these accessory wires. There's like an output for power and an output for some other sensor. Then I had to take off the controller board because I didn't want these wires dangling around on the bike. So let's button this cycle analyst back up and get this thing mounted on. All right, cycle analyst is now mounted. Now let's move on to the wiring. I found a use for these Talaria bar ends. They work great on these iZip bars. Thank you, thank you. All right, I just got the speed sensor installed, and I also neatened up all of the front wiring with some miniature black zip ties. So it's looking pretty good. The only thing I'm missing right now is a rear brake cable, and we're gonna get that in shortly. All right, we got some bad news. I just put 30 pounds of air in these tires, and the rear tire is rubbing on the bottom of the frame on both sides. So I'm gonna have to swap out this holy roller. Beautiful tires. It's just constantly rubbing on both sides. I mean, the rim's pretty true and it just won't spin. So I'm gonna have to put one of the stock tires on the rear, which is gonna completely change the look of the bike. I do like these tires, but they are way too fat for this rear end. So I'm gonna have to pull the motor back off and swap out to one of the stock tires in the rear, and then hopefully we can get this thing up and rolling soon. All right, I didn't want to do it, but I put one of the stock Kenda tires on and problem solved. It now rolls and we can continue the build. So I just got the entire front end all wired and neatened up. I got the cycle analyst installed. We have the cruise control, the throttle, and I decided not to do a 3-speed switch because I'm probably only going to power this with 52 volts, and I don't think the 3-speed switch is necessary. So I'm just going to keep it in max gear all the time. So let's neaten up the wiring in the center here, get the whole controller wired up, and then we can look at getting a battery in this thing and seeing if the wheel spins. All right, so I have the cruise control, the throttle, and the cycle analyst wired in now. Now I just need to wire in the motor, and then we're gonna plug in a battery here and see if this thing works. All right, I have all the motor wiring temped out, and I have the controller switch bypassed. So let's plug in this 12-cell LiPo battery and see if this thing comes to life and if it's actually wired color for color and the thing spins in the right direction. All right, the battery's plugged in and we had a big spark like normal. Cycle analyst says nothing. That's not good. And the motor works. And the regen worked. That regen is strong. All right, well that all works, so I can finish up soldering my Hall sensor wires. All right, so I was having troubles getting my cycle analyst to turn on, so I started cutting away the heat shrink on the connector, and I found a broken yellow wire. So let's get this wire soldered back together and see if we can get this cycle analyst back to life. All right, I soldered in a little extension there because it wasn't long enough to properly splice. So now let's tape this thing up and see if we can get this thing working once and for all. All right, we have the cycle analyst working. I'm sure a lot of the settings are wrong since it says we're drawing negative 36 watts, and that's probably not right. But we have 45 volts on the LiPos, so they're a little low. They usually run up to about 50 fully charged. So I'll have to put those on charge and reset this thing and see if we can get out for a ride. All right, we have a Shimano 175 millimeter crank on, and it seems like it's gonna fit. Right now I have it on the small chain ring, but I might have enough room to actually put it on the larger chain ring, so that might help us out quite a bit for our speed pedaling. But let's get some pedals put on here and then see if we can clear the body with this crank. Okay, we are officially going for the first test ride. I've never pedaled this bike, and the rear derailleur is not set up properly. It's like rubbing and stuff. And I managed to get this 12-cell battery pack to clip in, and the battery is plugged in. I had to put some styrofoam there. But let's see if this thing rides. But she's working. The bike is working. I have no brakes. Oh my God. The brakes are on my other hand. I only have front brakes. I'm holding the camera because the throttle. All right, so I have throttle on the right and the brake is on the left, and I can't use that one. But look at this. We are working. Must have a little loose spoke. There's a little clicking going on. Oh my God, there's a car coming. I can't stop. Oh my God. This is a bad idea. I should have probably fixed the rear brakes before I went on my first test drive, but I guess I couldn't help it. So here we are. We have a little clicking in the rear hub motor. I think that is a spoke. Yeah, it's got to be a spoke. But all in all, it's a pretty successful test ride, I think. I can't stop, I'm gonna hit this tree. Oh my God. Oh, all right, I think that was successful. All right, I found a little piece of mild steel and I'm going to drill the first holes to mount the caliper to it, and then I'm gonna make an angle off of the frames angle here and then weld it in place. All right, I traced out the angle. Now I'm gonna cut this piece of metal and then clean up the corners so they're not so sharp and see if we can get this thing on the bike. All right, there you have it. Not the prettiest little piece of metal, but once we clean it up and get it on there, it should be fine. All right, and as you can see, I completely butchered that welding job. I was struggling to find a place to clamp my ground clamp and also get a weld started. And then like an idiot, I just continued to finish welding while, yeah. So basically I burned a hole through it right here because I had the amperage up too high. So once I figured that out, I turned the amperage down and then started welding more. But as you can see, I'm pretty bad at welding. I keep thinking I'm going to get better and better, but I try it like once every 6 months, so I really don't get a lot of practice in. I probably should have practiced before doing this, but this is the end result. It is held on there in place. I'm just going to have to grind this thing down and paint over it, make it look a little pretty, but I don't even have an angle grinder right now. All I have is a tiny little Dremel tool, and this weld is, you know, it's so strong that I can barely even Dremel it. I just tried Dremeling this one little piece and took like half a blade. It was pretty strong. So I'll have to get an angle grinder and then touch this up with some red paint, but for now we have rear brakes. All right, so I just got my cycle analyst set and hopefully everything's correct. I got my wheel diameter in there, the amount of motor poles, and I have my speed sensor all set up. So hopefully it's accurate. And look at this, the town just put one of these speed trap cop things in here on the side of the road. So I'm gonna go full speed by this thing and see if it's accurate to whatever it says on my cycle analyst. So it said 22 miles an hour and I was going 26. Not sure how accurate that is. Okay, I went for a test ride and all went well. I decided to unplug the regen because the way it's programmed, the second you let off the throttle, it instantly brakes you, and it was getting pretty annoying. You couldn't coast and have fun. It seems to be a lot better if you just go full throttle and then let yourself coast. You don't need that regen to always slow you down. It's kind of annoying, but I am attempting to put on the side covers. So I had to disconnect my rear brakes so I could route my cable through the side. And now I'm getting the brakes aligned. All right, the side cover on the left side is on. It attaches with just 4 bolts. There's one of them. There's the second one. There's the third one. And down bottom is the 4th one. So we got the left side on, which is the main side. Now I can put the right side on and couple everything together and close it up. And then we just have to get this bottom piece on, which has a little flapper door, which originally held the 120 volt cord to charge the bike. And then we have a couple pieces to put on around the crank. All right, and there we have it, guys. Lipstick on a pig. We got the e-bike into the year 2000 and maybe a little beyond. So we have a 9 Continents hub motor on the rear. We have Avid disc brakes front and back. We have a downhill front end with a nice RockShox sector fork and a Maxxis Holy Roller tire. We have a Cloud 9 seat. We have some nice giant pedals, and we got the plastics back on the bike. It's running 12 cell LiPo, so it's got a 50 volt 12 amp hour multi-star battery in it for now, and the plastics went on pretty nice. They cleaned up good. All in all, looks like a success. All right, we're gonna go for a quick ride on the new e-bike. Oh man, it's so much better now that I shut off the regen. So the regen was programmed so the second you let off the throttle, it would just immediately slow you down. And it made it so you always had to be on the throttle, or it was kind of annoying, it braked you immediately. So I shut that off, and we're having much better results. So I'm at 48 volts right now, 18 miles an hour, and I'm not even close to full throttle. And now I can let off the throttle, and I'm still doing 18 right up to this Tesla here, who's going super slow. You can do it, buddy. Let's race the Tesla. We're doing 10 miles an hour. All right, we're getting up to full speed. All right, guys, we're flying. We're racing a Tesla. We're doing 29. We're doing 30. We're doing 30 and a half. All right, we are topped out at 31 miles an hour, guys. We are hauling. Man, is it nice. I really miss having a hub motor there. Super quiet. Oh man, and I let off the throttle and I'm still flying. We have no regen. This is mint. Let me take this corner here. Oh yeah, this bike is nice, guys. So I did put a larger Shimano sprocket on here. It's a 175, and I am pedaling air right now. We're at 25 miles an hour, and I can't assist the bike at all, even if I pedal as fast as I can. So it's in the highest speed possible. I don't even need to touch the 7-speed derailleur. I don't have to touch the 7-speed shifter right now. It's just useless. But man, does this bike feel nice. It's riding great. Super quiet. What a dream to ride. Very nice platform we got here. All right, so now we can go uphill and I can assist the bike. So my pedaling stops helping at about 18 miles an hour. Any faster than that, and I'm really struggling to try to pedal. Really loud. Nice car has to follow me from the bank. I'm louder than you, I swear. Why do I have an electric bike? Oh yeah, because it's sweet, that's why. I bet this guy wishes he had an electric bike. So we're doing 20 miles an hour, just cruising, loving life. It's Sunday afternoon, so traffic's as bad as it ever is. Everybody's commuting home, getting ready to go to bed for that Monday work week. Oh man, this bike is sweet. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Man, am I happy with these results. So I bought this bike on Friday. It is now Sunday, and it is fully converted and operable. Let me put cruise control on. There we go, we got cruise control on, guys. So I'm going no hands, and we are held with the throttle open. Cruise control. I had to shut it off really fast there so I could take this corner because I didn't want to go all the way down to the center of town. I got all these people looking at me like I got 3 heads because I have a giant GoPro Hero 9 on my helmet with a wireless microphone system. So I do kind of look odd, but I don't care. I got the brightest red e-bike in town and I love it. But look at that, guys. Within 48 hours from purchasing this bike off Facebook Marketplace, we have a complete silent stealth commuter that goes 30 miles an hour on 12-cell LiPo. Now this controller is, what is it? It's a 12-FET Lion controller. Man, it's super windy out. I apologize for the wind, but at least it's not raining. It poured out all weekend. The skies are still gloomy. But it's nice out. I'm in a t-shirt. I'm able to get a test ride on the bike, and I'm happy for that. I just wish I got some more of the breakdown and the build of the bike for you. That's all right. Beggars can't be choosers. That is the 48-hour e-bike build, guys. People are playing baseball. So I can pedal up to 18 miles an hour. We're doing 16 and a half right now. And things are great. This bike is solid as a rock. Everything feels really good. I am happy with how it came out. And now I got a bike to rip around town that's not completely illegal, like the Talaria or the Kuberg. I haven't had a cop stop me yet on the Talaria, but it's only a matter of time. Now that I got the 2118 Moto wheels on it, it does look like a straight up dirt bike. But we have a beautiful stealth bike. Let's get it up to full speed one more time here. Oh man, no hands, rides like a dream. I got no wobble. This front end is solid as a rock. The headset is a sealed 1 1/8" headset, and it feels great. I had some spoke nipple noise on the rear end of the bike, so it has aluminum nipples, and they were kind of rusting and corroding against the rim. So I just lubed them all up, and now we're out on a ride. It's already getting quieter than it was. It's probably going to persist, but that's what happens when you buy these hub motors, these hub motor kits off of eBay from China. You kind of get what you pay for. Now this one's lasted me years. I had this on my Vector light bike, and I have no complaints with it. I ran it at every voltage known to man, up to 72 volt, and it handled it like a champ. And this controller can handle, I think it's got 63 volt capacitors. So we could even go a step further and build a custom 15 cell pack, or probably a 14 cell pack, which would be 52 volt nominal, one step over the 48 volt. It's probably what I'll do. Oh man, this thing rides like a dream. What a nice bike. Even my ugly welding skills on my rear bracket for my disc brake caliper is perfect. It's perfectly aligned. There's no rubbing. My stopping power is great. I just need to get an angle grinder and grind down those welds and paint it up a little with some red body paint. And we are going to be styling, guys. This build only took me 2 days over the weekend, but it was raining most of the time, so unfortunately I couldn't document the whole thing. So I tore the bike apart in the shed, and I tore all the parts off of my old bike, and I got it all installed on Sunday here today. So we just got the thing buttoned up, and it is now riding and working properly. Thanks for coming along with me on this journey of this bike remodel, and hopefully we'll see you again on the channel.